in Astral.
Very much
I'd
prefer
probably
if it was like tiled 2x2. That'd be kind of nice. But that seems to not be doable. However, Brian, you'll be glad to know that when I do the focus toggle in the Discord call, it focuses on you by default.
on who by default?
On
Winning.
Brian. All right.
I just want to say, Ryan, that is an awesome outfit with the Nike swoosh and the headband.
Yep, it's pretty great.
I love it. That's not sarcasm.
Did you just come back from a run? You were, your push to talk is not on.
Oh, no, we went on a small hike in the valley.
Oh, nice. Cool. All right.
What's the website for Astro? Did you send the link?
astraltabletop.com. Yeah, it should be up there.
Yeah, I got that part. Yeah, I got that.
Oh, you didn't get the email yet?
Oh, that must have been when I was off.
I got a notification in Astral, but I did not get an email.
I got it.
I figured maybe because I had Astral open, it automatically assumed I would see their notification and decided
Or maybe it
not
doesn't
to
send emails. Maybe it just sends them through Astral. That's possible.
No, it sent me an email.
Okay.
I'm getting hella echo.
We barely made things work, but somehow we almost always make things work.
What? Who was that?
What was that?
All right.
Oh, it's something coming through Jesse's speakers.
Yeah. Jesse, what are you doing?
I went to Twitch and then it automatically popped up.
Oh, it does the autoplay thing.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep, that's a thing.
I don't like that.
It's
like
weird.
when I
Yeah, that sounds super annoying.
On my Spotify.
Yeah, or how Netflix starts playing things, assuming that if you've like not scrolled in a second, you want to watch that thing right now.
Yeah, it starts playing the preview.
Yep.
Have you noticed that a lot of the previews are just random scenes?
Yeah, I think sometimes it's like, do you want us to have like a generator or do you want to supply with something? And some of them are long.
Yeah.
Dennis, have you not gotten the invite?
No.
Do I need to create a character?
Correct email address in case I mistyped it somehow.
You already go live?
Oh, yes, I did. I think I know what it is. Your username on Astral is what you were talking about. I, for some reason, was reading that as like the first part of your Gmail address. I should be able to do that. Now you should get an invite. All right, cool. Did somebody create a character, or did I do that by accident?
Oh, it wouldn't let me get out of there unless I created a character.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
And I'm like, what is going on here? It's not letting me X out of anything. And now that came back up.
Okay. Well, we'll deal with this when we actually possibly come to a combat, and let's dive into the game. Alright, so last time on BionD&D, the group of you were traveling to try and rescue Enlaun who had contacted you after your battle with the Blue Dragon and sounded very weak and close to death. So you weighed your options and decided to rush southward to try and get to her in time. Upon your arrival, you found Rex and Regis, the two gold dragonborn from earlier in the campaign, tending in what capacity they could to her wounds. They were able to, sort of stabilize her and keep her going for long enough to have you all get there. But once you arrived with the healing powers of your Mustar monk and your cleric, she was able to get back to effectively as healthy as she could be. The blue and black dragon had taken her so close to the end of her life that some of her inherent healing abilities had failed, and she lost some of her essential vitality, which she revealed could only be restored via two methods. One of which was returning her to her birthplace, which is effectively impossible since she was born on a different plane, or by the use of a powerful artifact to which she is connected. And it was then that she revealed that she had been charged with guarding the annulus in Dragon's Demise Lake. So when you learned about this, you were like, okay, well, let's go get that annulus. Two birds, one stone sort of thing, since it'll help us on our journey as well. And you headed back northwards a little ways through the Scairn Mountains until you came upon sort of that precipice to the Mirror Lakes, and then crossing by several of them, eventually made your way over to the one that lacked the mirror sheen that granted that geographic feature its name. This lake was black and tar-like, filled with an acidic, gross kind of not really water substance. And after a couple of very brief tests, you ascertained that it was not safe for any of you to enter outright. While looking around the lake for certain clues as to how you might combat this acidic effect, you, particularly Norwin, stumbled across a shambling mound that lurched forward and attacked him, and it was combat for the party. Made relatively short work of this corrupted, blackened blight of a shambling mound. And upon finishing the battle, Norwin was able to kind of get back to what he'd been doing, which was looking at what looked to be gold lettering inside of a small pool of this blackened water that was sort of separate from the main body, shallow enough that he could see to its bottom. And we ended as you all were clearing out the bottom of that pool so that you would be able to read said inscription in gold letters. So, as I believe we were using, prestidigitation and some other spell, perhaps, to clear out the mud, you clear the grime away from the letters, and you can read it in its full composition. It says, "This acid lake is home to secrets old, which even to their keepers were untold. If thou art to prevail and learn this lore, the halls of Sterkvelig you must explore." You are not pushing to talk.
Oh, I was saying I want to roll history to see if I know what the stairs of Escalor are.
The halls of Sterkvelig?
That's the thing.
There's not
Yeah,
a written copy, is there?
go ahead. You actually have advantage on this roll.
Who, me or him?
You.
Oh, okay.
Morthos, if you would like to make the check as well, you would also have advantage, though.
Okie dokie.
Crenmore, you can also make the check, but you do not have advantage.
It's a history check, right?
Yes.
I'm good.
All right.
I
15.
got a 13.
15 and 13.
Yep.
Are those with advantage?
Oh no.
we both forgot it was with advantage.
Oh no. All right, so it's still 15 and 13. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, it was with
Yeah. So Brian, Norwin, your roll is high enough to recall. Morthos is apparently, or unfortunately, is not.
stress.
You actually recall the name specifically, and you recall its link to this lake in particular. I just said particularly and in particular, like right after another. Sorry about that. Still getting into the DMing thing. So, you recall from early in your adventuring, coming upon a mural in a cave where Rex had shown his mettle in taking care of a bunch of enemies in a lower floor, a hidden chamber, while the group of you fought your own battle above. This mural showed images of Bronak the Indomitable and his accomplishments of this particular battle, as well as kind of the empire that he ruled as a whole. And that empire was called the Sterkvillig Empire, as Bronak's full name was Bronak Sterkvillig. Do you speak Dwarvish by any chance? Okay. I saw the shake of the head. I knew what you were going for, even without the
Okay.
talk. So you don't know precisely what the name means, but you can easily make the connection between, Bronak was sort of the ruler of this empire, and so the halls of Sterkvillig likely refer to the place where he made his home and where the empire was based. You also recall that this battle between Bronak and Ankalax that created the lake where you are currently standing happened very close to the Empire's capital. So these halls must be nearby.
I convey that to everybody else.
Okay. Does anybody else speak Dwarvish? Okay. Actually, I guess, does Rashido? I don't think so. I think he just speaks... I think he might even speak Giant or something silly like that, but I don't think he speaks Dwarvish. Cool. Alright, so what would you all like to do with this newfound information?
I'm gonna try to investigate the area, I guess.
Okay. Sure, give me an investigation check then.
It'd be nice if the rolling channel was this channel.
Unfortunately, bots cannot be part of a group conversation.
Really?
I don't think so.
That's
Let
annoying.
me check and see if I can add, but I don't think I can. Add friends. No, it doesn't look like it. I don't think you can friend a bot, and you can only add friends. I can see if I can friend a bot though.
I got an 18.
No, I cannot add friend. Unfortunately. Alright, an 18. Cool. It does take you a little while as you're kind of doing a sort of increasing radius, a breadth first search, if you will. And you don't find anything at the first few levels, but as you go a little bit further out, ranging a little further to the east, you are able to kind of pick up elements of dwarvish society. You see certain worked stone in areas that would otherwise have been barren. You see evidence of like the beginnings of mines that may have not panned out. And here and there you even see like inscriptions in Dwarvish. You recognize the language as being what it is, though you cannot read it. And they kind of, as you sort of follow these markers, they grow denser and denser as you head a little bit further east. I'm assuming you're taking the rest of the party with you as you do this.
If they're not with me already, then I go back and get them.
Okay, cool. All right. So as you all are sort of traveling eastward and following this trail of dwarvish markings and landmarks, you eventually come to what seems to be like the epicenter of it. There's just more and more until it's just densely packed with carved stone and like these very like tall spires, all sort of surrounding a grotto sort of carved into the mountainside, which looks to be the entrance to a greater cave system. I'd like everybody to make survival checks for me.
Fourteen.
22.
14,
13.
22, and 13. Okay, good. Morthos and Norwin, both of you notice somewhat fresher tracks than you might expect. As you recall, probably both of you, the Sterkvillig Empire, this dwarvish faction that ruled quite a bit of the Scaran Mountains for a while in like living history. Well, living
How
if
does
you count
Cranmore not
long-lived
see this?
races like elves. He does, but he also sees more. So I'm giving you all what you see, and then
Okay.
Cranmore, you see all that, and then
Can we tell
Cranmore
what
rolled
kind of
too
check?
high. Yes, you can. What you see are the heavy-footed stompings of orcs.
Ooh, or
Yes.
Who, us or
And my
Cranmore?
hooves
The
glow
two of you.
blue.
So the two of you spy markings of like orcish travel in the area very recently, like within the past couple of days at least. And Cranmore, you see all of that. You notice the signs of orcish presence, but you also notice some subtler markings around. Particular like scrapings upon rock sides that look like goblin territory markings. And there are also smaller goblin tracks that are a little harder to notice that you also see leading into this grotto. I should stop calling it a grotto because that is not geographically correct. This cave.
Do I get a sense of number?
Goblins more than orcs. Goblins probably about 20 or so. Orcs closer to a dozen.
I share that information. Shall we proceed?
seems to be the best way to find a way through the mountain. Maybe find something to help us get down to that thing at the bottom.
Thing at
Of
the
the lake.
bottom. Oh.
Sorry, should have been more specific.
Yes, let's go.
I'm going to go for sanctuary on myself right now.
Okay. Very good. Okay, so venturing deeper into the cavern, it is rather dark within. Can I get perception checks from everyone? Disadvantage if you don't have dark vision. I'll
7.
sort of pseudo roll for Rashido. I don't know all of his bonuses, but Actually, did he say that his character sheet was up to date on D&D Beyond? I think he might have.
Release of last week.
I got a 20 both times. That's total, not natural roll.
Okay.
That's funny.
Still a 1 in 400 chance, but... Collections? Yeah, my campaign. There we go. Yeah, cool. Is indeed up to date. And his perception is a +2, so that's only a 5. Alright, does he have dark vision? Yeah. Does not? No. Cool. Good to know. Alright, so Farkin is kind of distracted as you all enter because there's like in several of the sort of side chambers there are shiny things. Most of them seem to be like copper and silver coins, a few gold strewn here and there, but like very much they seem to be picked clean of most like more valuable things. You don't see a ton, but it's shiny enough to grab Rashida's attention and kind of distract him. And it was 20 from Cranmore and what from Morthos and Norwin?
9.
I think I had a 7.
Oh boy. All right, Cranmore is holding up the group here. Cranmore, you notice as you're walking through kind of these first chambers, the other two of you are kind of awed by like the size of this cavern as it quickly opens out, and there's like intricate stone carving on the walls in this very grand-looking entryway that has been picked clean and scavenged over time. But it certainly was once quite beautiful. Cranmore, you note all of this, and then as you're looking towards sort of the next hall where you may enter, you see a small goblinoid shape kind of like jolt at the sight of you and duck behind a corner.
Does it throw a gold coin at me?
No.
I was waiting for
Go
that.
away!
Hey, guys, there's a little kid up on the ceiling or something.
There's a kid on the ceiling? I look up.
Yeah,
you
like
see no
Rashido
kids
size.
on the ceiling. I did.
Is it a mutant?
Sorry if I cut out a little bit, but I did say he darted around a corner.
Oh, around a corner, not on the
Yes.
ceiling. Okay. Sorry, around a corner.
That would also be awesome, but
okay.
he does not have a potion of spider climb that he recently consumed.
Yeah.
Should we follow it?
Seems reasonable.
It's a child, but it shouldn't even be
Well,
here.
you know, I mean, I don't it like child, small person, like
Its skin was like a greenish gray. It was like lankier, like thinner than, like more emaciated than like a humanoid child that you'd be used to seeing, but
yeah, like it's that. I mean, this is definitely a humanoid
yeah.
being that's like short, even shorter than you.
Hey, I resent that.
You resemble that.
Oh, that too.
And we're really wandering to someone's territory here, you guys. You know, just we should be sensitive about that.
This could be a trap.
Well,
Wait,
we could be encroaching on someone's home. You know, like just barging in.
Cranmore saw a goblin footsteps, right? Or like
Yeah,
footprints?
scratchings and stuff,
Okay.
and it looked like it was
So
marking
he
its
knows what a
territory.
goblin looks like.
Did that
I know
child
what they look like, man.
What?
Like humanoid look like it could have left those footprints?
Oh yeah, we're definitely dealing with humanoids here, of varying sizes.
Wait, so can't
Big-
you name it as a goblin?
I don't want to get it wrong, but yeah, I think you call them goblins.
Okay. I'm asking out of character, like.
Yeah, I think like Crenmore has established that he's not great at discerning humanoids, so like he might be able to tell the species of it, but he wouldn't be sure enough in his knowledge to be like, yes, this is a goblin. Be like,
Okay.
it's one of those smaller races, and I think you guys call them goblins. I don't know.
Yeah, I
That
don't
kind of thing.
necessarily have the same point of reference that the rest of you have for the humanoid races. Even though so I've interacted with them, I can I know what they are. I'm getting better at telling them apart. But I don't just attribute a bunch of stereotypes and things, and sometimes I get a little confused. And is that an elf or a half elf, or I don't know. It's hard to tell, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then I just say we should keep going. We have to do this.
Do we want to like announce ourselves? I mean, surely they see us now, and we're being kind of rude here, going into someone just waltzing into a place. I mean, I got to tell you, this place has been marked off. We're going deeper into a place, and they know we're here.
As you all are having this conversation, you hear some skittering and scrapes, and all three of you can kind of notice like three sort of goblinoid heads like pop out from behind a sort of carven stone corner. They don't even like it's got a dwarf-sized base, so like it comes up like 4.5 feet. And their heads like together don't even come up to that. They're all like they're very short.
Hello.
Yeah, I also call out in as friendly a way as possible. Hello.
One of them
not
kind of like looks up at the other two, and the kind of middle one like bonks him on the head with the butt end of what looks to be like a very crappy crossbow. And as he's kind of rubbing the wound on his head, he steps out and he says, "You are in the home of Grax. What do you want?"
Grox?
I think we want to pass through, if that's all right. We're just trying to find our way to the other side of this.
Well, I can save you the trouble. There is no other side. It ends. There's not another exit.
Well, then I think we're looking for something within.
There's something right below the bottom of the lake.
Everything within belongs to Grax.
Could we speak with
Who is
Greg?
Grox?
Our chief.
We should very much like to meet Grox, if that's okay.
He kind of like not expecting this, kind of like sort of just skitters back to his friends, and like they start conferring in whispered goblin. I was gonna say goblinoid, but that's a creature type, not a language. Do any of you speak Goblin?
No.
Okay, cool. So they confer in Goblinoid for, gosh dang it, in Goblin for a moment, and then the same one kind of comes back and says, "You wait here. We will ask."
Okie dokie.
All right, so the goblins, two of them disappear around the corner. The third one kind of like sits there, like thumping his shitty twig crossbow in his hand and like glaring at you. But the other two are gone away. And are you all doing anything while they get Grox?
I
Is
take
it
a
the
sitting position so it's not offensive looking, and I ask this goblin his name and offer mine.
which goblin is it? Is it the one that got hit on the head or the one that hit the other one?
It was actually the third one, the one that neither hit nor got hit.
Okay.
I don't know, Dennis, roll a d10. Or a d9, but you don't have one, so roll a d10.
I got a 5.
All right, he says, "What pit?" Like
I beg your
very much
pardon,
like
Wappet? I do beg your pardon, Wappet?
"What pit?"
Wappet?
It's the sound of when you swish a stick through the air and you hit a little like, yeah, that.
Onomatopoeia! I love it! That is fantastic.
No, wet pip, not aga maga fui. Has no idea what that word is. You're correct, but
That's funny.
That's your name in Fae. How about that?
He noticed me snickers. He's noticed me snickering. I try to hide it, but I can't.
You think my name is funny?
No. I was laughing at onomatopoeia.
It is a funny word. What's it mean?
It means that the sounds in your name mean something important.
I think that's right. I like my name.
That is a strong name.
What's yours?
My name is Cranmore. So the sound of it doesn't mean anything anymore on its own, but it means big tree.
You're big. And your trunk is kind of like a tree trunk.
His trunk?
It's trunk.
I ask, puzzled.
My torso. Okay. See, your lack of medicine check is what got me into that surgical nightmare.
It's all gnarled. It's got a knot in it.
I call that a burl.
He's kind of let the crossbow sort of drop to his side now. He looks a little bit more relaxed. That is until he hears the skittering coming from behind him and a pair of slightly heavier but somewhat muffled footsteps that kind of thump along with the two smaller, faster ones. You see the same two goblins come back around the corner, and as they do, What Pip kind of like stands at attention and like turns around, sort of with his two buddies, sort of forming like a column. And the first one, the one who did the hitting from before, says, "Presenting Grox the Terrible." And out from behind the corner stomps this rather hirsute bugbear, who walks between the column of three goblins with this. It's a little bit better made, but it's basically a glorified iron rod that he sort of settles on one shoulder and comes forward and says, "Who dares disturb the territory of Grox?"
We've come in search of a specific item that we believe is in this cave.
What's more,
items in the cave belong
that it may
to
be a
me.
bit accursed, and it may be a problem having it in here for you. We've already had to deal with a dangerous blue dragon in the course of this work, and now we're working with another dragon in the course of this work. So we're really interested in making sure that there are no more things disturbing the home of Crocs and your awesome presence and companionship.
Does Cranmore actually believe that the item they're searching for might be cursed.
Not in the conventional sense. In the sort of wherever this stuff is taking us, just a lot of intense things are happening. There's no peace around all.
Okay, but it's not a deception. It's
It's
a
not meant to be a deception.
rhetorical
It's meant to
device
be
for
there's chaos
persuasion.
around this thing.
Okay.
Around adventures.
Make a persuasion check.
Ouch.
7.
7.
All items in the cave belong to Grox. There may be
That is
exceptions for cursed items, but Grox requires tribute nonetheless.
what sort of tribute would you like? We have plenty of gold if you want.
Gold is good. However, whatever you remove from the cave, we will judge its value, and you will have to leave with us gold equal to its value.
That's fair.
Yeah, that seems fair.
In
Another
addition,
thing that
there are orcs deeper in the cave, and they make life hard. You have to take them away, or out, or otherwise convince them to move on.
Can you help us deal with them?
Kind of looks at the goblins. We set traps.
What kind of traps?
Kind of
You have a
looks at
map.
the
I sort of look around.
he looks at the goblins, and the one who did the hitting kind of pipes up and says, "My name's Richt, and I am master trap maker. We make fall rocks, we make poison dart, and we make floor spike and pit."
Will you come with us to show us where these traps are?
Grux kind of pipes up at this and says, No, I mean, we will make traps for you to lure them into.
Ah.
We can also tell you where the traps that are
Interesting.
currently laid are, but there are some laid by the orcs too. Can't tell you where all those are.
How do we determine
That
the
would be most
value
helpful.
leaving with?
What was your question, Morthos? Sorry.
How do we? You said that we would give you gold equal to the value of the item that we were taking with us. How do we determine that value?
Agreement. We will propose a price and you will negotiate. Gentlemen's terms.
Okay.
Can we agree upon the price first?
I don't know what you're taking.
we don't know what we're taking. I don't think we can agree on that yet, Norwin.
Well, I mean, can't we just go find it and then agree on a price after showing them?
That's what we'll do.
That is the proposal.
Before we take care of the orcs.
I think after.
Depending on where your object is, it may be necessarily after.
We
Okay.
should like to have one of your number with us to help as a guide, if that's all right.
Zrecht! And the first one kind of stands at attention and says, Yes, oh Grox the Terrible. I'll go.
Strecht, is it?
Zrecht.
Strecht.
Like when you scrape a stone across another stone and then hit a wall with it. Zik. All right. So Grok's kind of he sensing his business here is concluded for the time being. Kind of sends Zricht with the group of you, handing him a couple of like very crude weapons in addition to the crossbow that he already had. And ushers the other two back and says, as he's sort of rounding the corner again, saying, "If you're not back within 2 days, we'll assume you're dead."
That's fair. Or napping.
Sure. Good luck.
Thank you, Grox the Terrible. We'll meet soon.
He appreciates your use of his full title.
Y'all got good names here, Rick. Really impressive. So Norwin and Rashido and Morthos, do we have something better in the way of defense we can offer Zrict who comes with us? A club, a dagger, something with a bit of point or heft or something? Do you have like something auxiliary you can offer?
Who has the bag of holding?
I think it's Rashido, actually.
He like hides the daggers on his own belt, but reaches into the bag of holding, and I'm pretty sure there was like a bunch of daggers in there at some point. So he pulls one of
from
those out and hands
Gareth.
it to Zricht, and says, "I know better than you how to use this, so be careful. Don't try anything funny."
We had a witcher who I think found a number of these things precious. I'm sure, Richt, you'll find good use of this implement that the witcher had.
Yes, you can keep that.
I think it was one of his daggers.
Probably. At the mention of a witcher, Zrick kind of gets this like worried look on his face. He's not here, is he?
He's long gone. We parted ways some months ago, or feels like months ago now. And
Okay.
he left with us a few keepsakes, like what you've got in your hand there. That's yours now.
All right. Thank you. That's still good.
So where should we go first?
He kind of looks about the entry chamber and kind of ponders for a moment. Well, I don't know exactly what you're looking for, but I think that tunnel goes the deepest before we get to the orcs' territory.
Norwin, do you get a sense of where we're trying to get to? Can you feel or see the target?
Feel or see the what?
The annulus, the target, the thing?
I don't know, do I?
Do you still have locate object up? You'd have to cast it again actually, because you've been traveling for quite a while.
Then I guess I hold on. What do you know what level spell that is?
Fourth.
Or how long it
for-
lasts?
No, wait. Locate creature is fourth. Locate object is third.
Okay.
It lasts for 30
Then-
minutes.
Then yeah, I'd say I have enough magic left to cast something like that.
Okay. Let me actually draw something out in that case. Give me like a minute. Oh no, there's no pen around here. Yeah, that'll do.
Have we rested since our last fight? We haven't, right?
No. Ostensibly not. You've only traveled for a couple of hours, maybe 3. Okay, so
The last fight was the
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 shambling mound.
shambles,
what?
The shambling mound.
the giant thing of Earth.
Oh, that's right.
So got that. And the interchamber spells.
Oh yeah, because I have a spell slot.
Oh, locate object is a second level.
Oh, second. Nice. That's even better. Alright, so effectively, forgive the crude drawing, but this is where you all entered, right here. This is the entryway, like that large chamber that I described. Off to this side is where these goblins and Grax came from. Zricht is currently pointing at this pathway for being the one that goes deeper into the cave system before encountering the orcs' territory. This one, by elimination, is quicker, leading to the orcs' territory. And
Okay.
in your estimation, Brian, as you're looking, what are you exactly trying to locate?
The annulus.
Its range is only 1,000 feet.
Yeah.
You are a couple miles from the annulus, and well, actually,
Yeah, is it through stone and stuff?
yeah, I don't think any barriers block locate object.
It says describe or name an object that is blah blah blah. If the object is in motion, you know the direction.
So actually, before we
Any
mark off
thickness
the spell
of
slot.
lead. Lead is the only thing that blocks it.
Okay. Before you mark off the spell slot for it, you would know that where you think the annulus is, which is the bottom of that lake, is way too far away right now. It's a couple of miles. So you might not want to
Oh,
cast
okay.
it, but you can recall, just with, especially with Cranmore's survival skill, you know the direction of the bottom of the lake.
Okay.
So our instruction to Sweet is to get to the bottom of the lake.
Okay. So, let's see. 3 hours through mountainous territory. Let's call it half pace. So, your estimation is that it's about 5 miles off the map in sort of this direction. So between these two paths, or yeah, actually no, sorry, closer to this path anyway. This is the Goblin's Cave path. So that further path also seems to be the path that takes you basically in the right direction.
We're too far away for me to locate its magic, but I think
But
we
we
should
haven't.
go straight.
Okay.
Right, oh, let's do it.
All right. So traveling through the hallways are they're actually rather short. They only go for maybe like 50 or 100 feet before kind of opening out into another chamber. This system seems very populated with chambers and rooms and what was once life. The first few chambers you come into seem to be halls for great meals or meetings. There are long tables with even what almost amount to like chimneys leading up out of the mountain. And again, they've been kind of picked clean over the years of anything valuable, but you can tell there was once grandeur in these chambers. As you go further back, the rooms become a little bit more still well decorated, still like very finely carved stone, but more Spartan in their furnishings and a little bit more utilitarian. So you find forging rooms with smaller furnaces and large anvils set into stone, and various tables of craftsmen's tools as you continue to go further and further back. In several of the rooms, there are what look to be either goblinoid or orcish bones strewn about on the floors, as though there have been several battles between these two tribes in their time within the confines of this cave system. After maybe 3 or 4 rooms going through like this, Zricht kind of puts a hand out and stops the group of you and sort of walks ahead and says, "Trap," and sets to work kind of on a floorboard, kind of beginning to pry it up. And you can see underneath there's kind of a mechanism that looks like it might be a pressure plate of some kind. And he kind of takes the dagger that you gave him and reaches in with it and kind of pries it up, and then puts a thick stone underneath, stopping it from going downward. And he kind of tests it with his own foot first, and then says, "All right, that should hold." All right, who's going first?
I'll go first.
Okay. It doesn't hold. He rolled a 7 on his disarm trap check. So he tried. It's not like he was trying to deceive you. Like, he definitely tried to jam something under there so that it wouldn't go. But he weighs a lot less than you do, and he didn't really think about that. So as you step on it, 4 like large and rusty spikes jut forward from a plate in front of you. I'd like you to make a dex save.
Do I get any kind of advantage for expecting that this might happen?
Sure, yeah. I imagine you would be stepping on it trepidatiously, even though you saw him do it like, it's a rock. It's not gonna hold me.
Um, 27.
Oh yeah, more than enough. These 4 spikes, they're only a couple of feet long, and you very deftly just kind of jerk backwards, avoiding them completely. And this is a rather old trap, and so even as it like pops upward, the spikes, just like where they're mounted, is really rusted and corroded away, and it would be trivial to just break them off and move on.
That was ingenious, Zicht. Good traps there.
Sorry. I really thought it was not gonna do that.
That's okay. We do our best.
Oh,
Let's
sorry,
press
his voice
on.
is gravelier. Okay. Alright. And you just push the spikes aside, basically just they'll snap off. Easily enough, you continue on your way. Let's see. Yeah, I don't necessarily want to like waste a lot of time going through room by room. So let's say that continuing on through the dungeon, it sort of continues in that same vein. The rooms back here they're kind of almost tiered with like, and you could tell there's like levels of finery that increase as you go back. And in fact, the further back you go, the less stripped clean things are. There's a little bit more ornate decoration left. You can see gilt carvings in the stone where the gold leaf has not been like scraped off yet. You find like very fine tablecloths along some of the great halls that you enter as you go further back, as though sort of, the deeper into the cave you were, the more wealthy you likely were. You also begin finding, instead of just the rooms for manufacture, you begin seeing mine carts and their tracks kind of leading out into these dark tunnels that disappear, and then the track kind of dips out of sight, and looking in with the little bit of light that kind of reflects off of the walls from either, I'd say Rashido has probably cast dancing lights by this point. Um, so sort of the ambient light from that, you can see like twinkling ore veins inside of the mountain as you go deeper and deeper.
I'm wondering aloud why the dwarves would have abandoned this.
Um, the Zricht kind of shrugs his shoulders. Doesn't seem to know. He kind of says, we just came here one day and it was empty. I don't know. I mean, it seems to have been empty for a little while before even we got here. Um, Norwin and Morthos, go ahead and make another history check for me.
What was that?
Go ahead and make another history check for me. If you don't mind.
I got a 9.
Oof. Morthos?
That'd be a 14.
All right, there we go. Morthos, you recall from your time in Irehall, which was actually in its foundations, it was connected to this empire. It was actually part of it. And part of the town's history is that the dwarves were called back to fight in this war, and so the town, or the city was, well, then a town, was kind of on its own for a bit. And as far as anyone knows, the dwarves just disappeared. Like the whole empire seems to have just vanished without.
You know how long ago that was? Can you tell that?
Yeah. You recall the town's or the city's founding to be about. Oh gosh.
At least 7 weeks ago.
At least that's true. At least. Um, it was the empire lasted for approximately 112 years. Um, and it wasn't immediately after the Scouring, so I would say the city was founded maybe 150 years ago, and maybe a few years after that was when the dwarves disappeared, so maybe 125 years ago. So around 200 SR. You were not being picked up by your mic.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh yeah. So sorry, I was muted. So half the time to the scouring.
Pretty much, yeah. A little more than, but yeah. Or a little less than, rather.
Would I know anything based on the fact that they've disappeared, or is it we don't know why they're gone? It's just abandoned.
No idea. As far like it really just seems like there was this empire and it was basically in its peak. They were winning the war. Bronak had recently defeated Ankalax, and then nothing. They just went away.
Huh. Interesting. And no sign of why they left. They're just gone.
Yep.
Suppose we should I'll let everybody know, and suppose we should keep going. Keep an eye out for dwarvish things.
Zrick just goes, "Oh shit, that's horrifying." Hmm.
It is, isn't it?
This
Yep.
is very unsettling.
Entire society just wiped out.
I don't like that.
This is not the only place that we've seen entirely wiped out of its people.
He kind of cocks his head when you say that. What do you mean?
Well, we just came from a city that was a ghost town. But we're trying to repopulate.
Huh. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of weirdness in this world. I don't know. One time I even saw I don't even know how to describe it, but like there were like these lights just streaking across the sky. I don't know what caused them, what they were. It were all these different colors. It's crazy, out of nowhere. Cranmore, you know he's talking about a meteor shower.
Yeah, we're actually yes.
Yep.
We and I were both like meteors, comets.
Yep. And Zricht has no clue. He's just like, whoa, what the heck? Oh, but keep your eyes out. We're getting closer to the orcs part of the mountain now.
Direct where I come from, sometimes at night, you see blue and purple and green waves of light, like water, but up in the air, waving around in waves of light.
I wouldn't go near that if I were you.
It's like the sky has its own aura.
That sounds scarier than the streaking lights.
It's beautiful.
I'll take your word for it. Yeah. Can I get perception checks from everybody? Zricht has disadvantage because he is distracted by the terror of the Aurora Borealis. Okay. Fun fact, the capital of the mountain duchy is actually called Borealis.
I got a 14.
All right. If it is easier for you guys to just roll
21.
dice, you could just roll dice. All right.
The biggest thing for me is looking at my bonus.
Gotcha.
Because I have to like switch windows and stuff.
Right. That makes sense. And Morthos, what'd you get?
I got a 16.
Okay. Even a 14 is enough. So all of you hear, other than Zricht, hear the sounds of an approaching patrol of orcs. There might be two or three sets. Jesse, you are causing an echo.
Stop echoing.
All right.
Hey, it worked.
There we go. Cool. So there might be two or three sets of footsteps coming up upon you. There is relatively little room to hide, but not zero. So do you all want to try and hide around the bits of furniture that are in the room, or do you want to just go for it?
Just maybe we try the same thing we did with the goblins. We announce ourselves.
I quickly
Wait,
turn to Zrick
how
and
much
say,
time is there?
hide.
Not much, but enough for Zrick to jump and hide.
Yes,
He's
I
like,
quickly say to Zrick, hide.
"Yeah, okay. All right, yeah, he hides pretty well. All right, a few moments later, a triplet of orcs led by a very, not heavy set, but a very buff, chiseled warrior woman stride in. The warrior leading them carries this just maul, like this huge two-handed maul with a very wicked-looking head. The two behind her each carry these crude, like wrought iron war axes. And they immediately see the three of you, or the four of you, because Rashido is also there. Actually, Rashido would probably hide too. All right, Rashido hides better than Strict does. And they see the three of you and immediately lower their ready their weapons and say, "What are you doing here?"
We're looking for a specific item.
You were muted, by the way, Dennis.
Intentionally.
Okay, cool. I saw your mouth moving and wanted to make sure. An item. Well, everything here belongs to us. You won't find any items free for the taking. If you want
Would you be
loot,
willing to
find another
trade for it?
mountain. We might have been, had you not come into our land uninvited.
I'm sorry, we didn't know you were here.
That's not my problem, is it?
How does one get an invitation?
You gotta know somebody, and that somebody has to like you. Currently, I don't know any of you, and I don't like any of you. So I say you have 30 seconds to get out of my sight, or this gets ugly.
I say, how about all this gold?
How much gold are you putting out?
I'm flashing maybe 100 gold coins.
Well, sounds like a good reason for me to kill you and take the rest.
I thought you might say that.
All
I
right.
really wouldn't recommend it. And I cast Thaumaturgy to make myself appear extremely huge, like a monster type thing, like a dragon with wings or something, and scare it.
Can
Scare
thaumaturgy
them.
change your appearance?
I don't know.
I think it's mostly like sounds
Okay.
and light effects. But you
Okay,
can make
then are
yourself
there any?
like your voice boom, and you could sound very intimidating.
Yeah. So then, are there any doors or anything?
Yeah, there's a few yeah, there's like a wooden door to a pantry in the room. There's a couple of unlit torches, things of that nature.
Okay. The
Boxes with lids.
as long as anything that's not tied down, I'm gonna have a huge gust of wind come
Just
through and like
clatter everything around.
clatter everything around,
Okay.
and then make my voice very intimidating and loud.
All right. Make an intimidation check.
At advantage or with modifiers?
Just the intimidation is just the normal roll. Not advantage on this.
21.
Effectively, doing it this way was what allowed him to intimidate.
Ah, okay.
Okay. So the way this works, because these orcs are extraordinarily like territorial and they're not happy that you're here, they aren't cowed from the fight, but you guys can basically get a surprise round on them.
Okay.
So I would still like everybody to roll for initiative.
21.
And let's actually... So this is going to be the part of the stream that might go a little bit slow. So let's try and get into Astral Tabletop and see what the heck we have going on here.
A real high 6. I got that.
Nice. Don't recall which book you're in. Alright, is everybody... Okay, so we have a Cranmore and a Morthos. I will make a Farkin.
My Cranmore is not very representative right now, but that's okay for today.
Actually, if you go into the
Equip-
imported assets, you might be able to find what something that's more suitable. As I uploaded one just before, so I might be able to change it for you. Let's do that. That's Centaur. It's better. Should be bigger though. Can I scale you? I guess not. I guess I cannot scale anybody to more than 1x. That's too bad. Let's go ahead and swap this to...
I found a tiefling, but it's a different sex.
I think it was 13. Yeah, 13.
I'm happy with my position.
Yeah, that's fine.
Norman seems kind of far back for someone that was just
Oh,
intimidating. Though.
oh yeah. I definitely want to be more forward. How do I actually move myself?
And Rashida's way back there.
Oh, there we go. It wasn't. It was moving the whole map before. Right. Same pointer. Yeah, I'm definitely closest to them.
I hold my action. I still have Sanctuary on.
It's like they're definitely attacking us, right? Okay. Okay. It's just like everybody's holding their actions. So. Oh, okay. Right.
And I'm trying to be tranquil-ish even during combat. You'll see.
Okay. I'm like melee distance, so I'm gonna use inflict wounds as let's say 4th level on the nearest one. Attack roll is +9. 12. Yikes. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I pull out my shield.
It's already me. All right. So I'm gonna call on Varison. I am going to approach Orc V1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can get right here. And you should be able to edit it. Yeah. And I am going to. I have one pack slot left, so I'm just going to take 2 attacks with Varison against Orc F1 V10. So roll. 12. Does a 12 hit for the first attack? And it's pretty bad when you get a +7. Oh, I got an 18 on the next one. Sweet. And then that should be 1d10 4 plus 3. $13 damage. Oh, I'm sorry. It's extra 4d radiant damage, not +4 +3. So that would be 9 for that, and then I just need to roll a d4. Actually, the battle axe, I get extra 4d. Oh, did I not write in that completely? It says extra 4d radiant damage, but it should be 2d4. 2d4. Yep. So that's 7 radiant damage. I edit. In addition to the 9 original. Yeah. Quick. They are chaotic evil, I assume, right? Okay, so that's the other thing that makes it 2d4 radiant damage. Cool.
Does the intimidation mean that we get a whole round of attack without them being able to do anything? In that case, since I was holding my action, I'm going to move on my action before the. Okay, now I'm on this new round. I'm holding my action. I have a very peaceful, pleasant countenance in the midst of this battle frenzy. My second turn, I'm holding.
I'm gonna try to do the same thing except level 3. Yes, master. Oh, 11. Yee, worse.
He specifically told you.
I did, and I ended it. I did hit the end for me, and it's now says it's Porter's turn again. Yeah, it was sitting there till Cranmore during Cranmore's turn, and then I clicked the button. So I'm not sure what happens when I click the button. It goes away for me. Okay, I'm gonna take my 2 attacks. Okay. So I'm gonna take my 2 attacks. I get advantage with flanking, I imagine. So here's my first attack. I get a 24.
You're welcome for the advantage.
I'm gonna do the second one just in case I crit, which I didn't. Okay, and then here's the second one. Uh, 10. And a 19. That should be a hit then too. D10 plus 3. Isn't that? Oh, that's weird. 9 plus. Hold on. I just have to roll the 2d4. Okay. 15. 15 damage. 6 of them radiant. Yep. That was 15 total. 6 of that radiant. And then my Question: a special action, is that something I could take at any?
How special is it?
It just says instead of it saying action or bonus, it says action type special. Under like what am I asking special about? Oh, accursed spectre. Okay. Gotcha.
You're so special.
That's why I was trying not to say it too much.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Uh-oh.
Ouch. I'm looking rough. I'm already damaged from the last battle. Nope. Wait, didn't Farkin hold his action for the next? How closely does it get? How close does it get to me? Okay. Okay, I actually like turn side so that my side is like, yeah, my side is like available almost as like an advantage to whatever that thing that just attacked me is. Okay. Yep. Yep. I am unconscious. I don't know. I'm just keeping track of it in D&D Beyond.
It's a DC 17 to be able to attack me. Wisdom. Okay. All right. Good for him. It's my turn now. Each person until I start doing stuff. Right. All right. So I get 2 back-to-back turns. So the so the first thing, let's see. Because I held my action, and then I'm at the top of the next round. I think you can also just go at the end of the round. Like if there's no trigger, I think you just go at the end. It doesn't mean I get no action.
He didn't. I don't think he.
Right. So I'm going to move myself between Ishmaz and Norwin, and heal Norwin for 40 points.
Oh.
And now I am going to attack Ishmaz a lot, like a whole lot, with flurry of blows and stuff. Yeah, this is the next round now. Does a 22 hit? All right, 3 of those attacks definitely hit, and one of them is a crit fail. Roll on it again, or roll the damage for it. $11. That's unlikely. They're all heading up to 10. 30 points of damage total. Yes. Yeah, I don't see that.
Okay. Les Gerbil is still in melee range, right? Okay. I'm gonna use another inflict wounds at 3rd level. It's +9. Like, I don't understand.
Don't try to hit her. Hit her.
That's super helpful. Thanks. 20. No. Third. $30 points. I did. 30 total. It's 5d10. And it's necrotic.
Norwin, that's gross.
I didn't. Oh, wait, actually, I wouldn't say that. Never mind. I yell out, "Who's next?" With thaumaturgy. No, that's it. Oh, hold on. So yeah, so many different windows. There we go.
Who just died? All right. Does his head exploding stop me from casting uh,
The
what's it
spirit
called?
thing?
Where the hell is
Enslaved spirit.
yeah, Kurt
That's the
Spector.
thing.
All right.
Oh god, that sounds cool.
Yeah, just play when you slay a humanoid. Do I have to slay that person? Damn. Took my guy. I've been working on him. All right.
He fucking knocked me out.
All right, we'll turn around and attack. I can't see the guy's name behind me because my head's covering it. But Ushkol. I
Yeah.
will attack him with my two with my pact blade curse, or I'm sorry, with my pact weapon. So first one is a 21, and the second one is a 23. Oh, they do. And let's see here. Whoops. I double tapped. So it's 4 damage plus hold on, not quite 2.
I didn't close anything. I
No,
put
still
focus
here.
on a different app.
Okay,
What?
so I got 10 damage total, 6 of it chaotic. Oh, I forgot to do both, actually. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, that's for the second one, it's a 2 6 and an 8, so that's 14. 8 of it being yes, 10 and oh, I'm sorry, 10 and 17. I ended it.
Does that get an attack of opportunity?
He
No. Sorry, critical hit on the first attack. And a 26 on the second attack. The first attack is supposed to do 2d6 plus 5 damage. So is it 12 plus 2d6 plus 5 on the first attack? Or is it just 12 plus 5 on the first attack? Okay. So I did 31 damage total on those two regular attacks on Ishmael. Is he still up? Yeah, okay, so Flurry of Blows. Does a 12 or 15 hit? Okay. That's the end of my turn.
Okay. Which one looks worse off? Okay. Um, I go and actually I'm gonna move over here. Or actually, how does with ranged spells does is there a disadvantage for being too close? Okay, so just here is fine. What if I go here and then do I still get flanking at all? Okay. Then I'm just going here and using guiding bolt. And
Wouldn't
that's
want
just gonna be a first level.
I said you wouldn't want to miss that range attack if you're on the opposite side of Cranmore.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Then I just go up and hit him with my mace. Flanking. Okay. I haven't used my mace in a long time. Give me a sec. Oh wait, it's a +1. I have the +1 thing now, right? I don't think that's on D&D Beyond. Wow, 12. Oh no, not advantage, sorry. 23. 5 damage.
Doop.
I killed him.
It helps if I unmute myself. I'm gonna step up towards Ushgul and take a swing with my axe. So I got 15 on the first one, 11 on the second one. Oh, really? Ooh, he's got a high AC. Oh, good to know. Say, don't go anywhere. I'm not finished with you yet. Uh, never mind.
I'm gonna run him down and hit him with a stunning strike. Like use it with charge. Now I am gonna judge what he's got left because I don't want to outright kill him. But I'm willing to take him to it. Yeah, but I'm willing to get him down to within 1 hit point. So this is charging with. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. So stunning strike on top of my charge. If I hit. He's running away, right?
Yep.
That should lower his AC, right? Okay. Yeah, 5e rules are a little different, I think. That's all. Yeah, so that's a 22 to charge at him. So that was 24 points of damage on the first just on the chart. Okay. So he should be at like 0 or 1 hit point on unconscious, right?
Yep. 0 unconscious.
Did I just get disconnected?
All right, now we can question him. Yeah, we're like disarmed, no armor, bound a bit. We want control of this guy. Okay.
Unconscious, this doesn't last super long, but you can like disarm him and start to bind his hands and legs.
Okay. Yeah. That.
Yeah, that was weird. It's like it reset.
Norwin, you want to take this?
Are we done with the rounds, or we can we approach?
Yes.
Yeah.
Back in.
UA.
I want to approach him and ask him where is the rest of your tribe? As I point Varison at him.
Deeper in the caves.
Like the way we're heading right now, or are there somewhere else?
The way we came, we were on a round.
Can
What's
you
the
take us there?
quickest?
He kind of looks. He can't get more than one of you at a time, just like I can't. Morthos or Norwin, say your thing.
Can you take us there?
Yeah.
What's the quickest way to the Hall of
The the dwarves. You're in them. These are the halls.
This is Sturkvalig?
Yes. I think that's the name.
How many of you are there?
Well, he looks at the bodies of his two compatriots. 10 now.
How many did we just kill?
2.
Do we still have our goblin friend with us?
Yep, he is still hiding.
Okay. Oh, he was hiding. I missed that part.
Yeah, he hid at the beginning of combat. Was like, I'm noping out of here. After Cranmore was like, hide. He did
It's
not
okay to
argue.
come out now.
There could be a way for you to live from this moment if you listen to what we have to say.
I'm all ears. And as you say that, and he responds, Zricht also comes out from behind his little hidey hole, and kind of like nervously peers at the orc bound up, and seeing that he is immobile, kind of like, puffs at his chest a little bit and starts to like walk up and go, not so tough now.
I want you to take us to your leader. I want a court with him.
Well, I don't have much option, do I?
No, you don't.
Fine. I can't guarantee you an audience, but I can get you there. I'm not the chief. I don't decide how he'll respond.
Well, take us anyway.
So, is this our invitation?
If I don't come back with my whole patrol, they'll know something's wrong.
Yeah, it's just that your patrol officer earlier said we weren't invited, and maybe
Right,
this will count now.
It will not. My tribe will not accept the death of 2 of their own as a sign of acceptance. If I go back,
Well, you better hope they
you
you
thought the
better
rest
hope
of
on
it
your
was
life
true.
that they give us an audience.
It seems as though I'm doomed either way. If you don't kill me, they'll kill me for running. I'm hedging bets that maybe you won't die when you meet them, and I might survive because I've done what you asked.
We shall see.
Indeed. Well, follow me, I guess, and we'll see if I survive the day. Well,
I keep
Ed.
close by as we walk.
Hey, sorry about your head.
He glares at you. He just shoots daggers.
I shoot back a warm smile.
He, like, you see him, like, grip for his axe that isn't there, and he just is not happy about that remark. I know you meant it in sincerity. He does not. And
I
even
guess he
if
didn't
you
pass his
did,
insight check.
he just doesn't want it from you.
That's fair.
But he does lead you through the tunnels several times where there are forks in the path. He looks down each one and leads you on one or the other. No rhyme or reason that you can detect, but you've currently no reason to believe that he is deceiving you, as his life depends on not doing so.
Do we need to roll any insight checks?
Are you suspicious?
Should we be? I mean, that's what the insight check's for.
You can roll one if you feel like it.
You're probably confused by his response given your sincerity.
I got a 15.
Okay. Anybody else want to roll?
I'm not.
Okay. So he leads you through these tunnels for what seems to be a little while, and eventually he I wouldn't quite say loosens. It almost seems like he's a bit of a nervous talker, and he starts saying like, I don't even know why you are down here. It's not like there's anything useful. Picked clean everything that was edible or flammable for heat, and the dwarves took everything valuable. Or if they
So why are
didn't,
we even down here?
looters.
Why not just move on?
It's a decent base for finding prey. The game in the mountains outside is bountiful, and this place is easily defended. If people even come inside, they get lost easily and either never find us, or if they do, they're too confused and befuddled to defend themselves, or just run at the sight of us.
But then you're having to contend with the goblins here.
Contend? Not really. They don't pose too much of a threat to us. We just, make sure that they pay their tribute, and we move on with our lives. If anything, the goblins make our lives easier as we take a portion of their prey. And anything they find that might be tradable. In return, we don't kill them. Anyway, there's nothing down here but old tattered cloth, lots of cut stone, and water. Nothing useful. Damn river's honestly a nuisance, if you ask me.
River?
Yeah, river. It's a little ways
Where does the river flow from?
near as I can tell. It
Just around the riverbed.
near as I can tell, it just sort of flows through cracks in the rocks from above.
From the lake above?
I suppose so.
Is it fresh water or
No, not if you
poisonous in any way?
yeah, I wouldn't drink it unless you have a death wish.
Hmm.
We should follow that river.
See where
Suit
it
yourself.
leads.
I won't take you there. None of our tribe live up that way. We avoid it.
Where does it lead?
None of us have ever been to the far end of it, but eventually it pours out into a chasm.
Pours out where?
Into a chasm.
Yeah, I think we should just go that way.
Well, do we want to go upriver or downriver?
Again, upriver, you're on
Down.
your own. That is sure death.
Okay, so
Why
we're
is
trying
it
to find
sure
a very
death?
specific thing, which is our top priority. Okay, should I be doing some kind of survival check to help us get to the thing we care about most?
Since you all don't exactly have an exact knowledge of what it is, at present you're looking around for anything that looks useful. So I'd say that's more investigation
But
than
we know.
survival.
My comment about survival was to get to the bottom of the lake, make sure we're heading in the right direction.
That
The other
you
thing
could
we should be
definitely
doing is
do with
asking.
survival.
The other thing is I want to know is have the orcs found anything unusual in these caverns?
Make a persuasion check at advantage.
$19.
Okay. Uh, well, there's a bunch of stuff that I would call unusual, but the ways of mining folks never really made sense to me. All those carts and shit that go deep underground, I've never really understood it. There's plenty of stuff above if you want food or money. Um, but I guess now you mention it, aside from the river of death and that huge chasm it flows into, there's one other weird thing we found. One of the chambers, I guess not too far off from here actually, um, just had a mound of white powder. A couple of etchings on the walls. No idea what it is or what it's for, but just huge amount of it. Um, it was so much that we didn't even think it was useful to try and move and make the room usable.
Yeah, why don't we go right there right now before talking to anyone else or looking at anything else?
Okay, it's been a while. Let me see if I can remember how to get there. Well, I rolled a nat 1, but this is our cave, so I'm rolling with advantage, and that was much better. Um,
Nice narration.
I think it's this way, and he does almost an about face, and leads you up a branch of the trail, not exactly whence you came, but like just adjacent to it. Sort of like 3 paths leading into the chamber and then 2 paths leading out. Came in through one, and he goes onto one of the other 3. Um, that was a very convoluted way of saying a different path. Um, and kind of leads you down there for like a couple hundred yards. Again, every like 50 to 100 feet, it's punctuated by another like large chamber. Um, but as he kind of navigates between them, eventually at one of the chambers, taking a sharp left and leading you down deeper into the mountain, down like this great set of stairs with these huge like 30-foot walls, all of which are kind of carved with scenes from battle. And Morthos, since you can read any language, you are able to kind of decipher the dwarvish writing as you go along. And it is then that the name presents itself to you. This Sterkvillig is it's literally dwarvish for strong-willed. And as you're kind of reading through it, it dawns on you that Bronak the Indomitable was probably just a translation issue from his literal name. But actually, it's explicitly stated along this what seems to be a graphic history of the Empire that he liked the moniker so much that he never corrected anyone on it. And you read about several battles throughout this war with Ankalax and a horde of black kobolds and corrupt dragonborn at his disposal. And this great war for control over the central region of the Scaran Mountains. The Sturkvillig Empire already controlled most of the southern reaches of the range, and Ankalax the northern. And this war was fought sort of in the central region to see basically who would overtake the other and rule the entire range. You find note of a couple of interesting things, one of which catches your kind of jogs in your memory a little bit. You see mention of an elvish ally of Bronak who quickly rose among the ranks to become a trusted advisor. His name was Ilfendal. There we go. Memory serves. And this jogs your memory because Garrick's
Sorry, what was his name?
Ilfendal. Ylfindal.
Ilfinded. What? Al?
Hold on. Is that backwards? That's backwards.
Ylfingal?
Dal. Ylfindal.
Okay, got
And this
Sorry.
strikes you as familiar, and you realize it's because Garrick's deceased cousin Erden had a locket, a family heirloom, and the name inscribed on the back of it was Ilfindal.
Interesting.
And this same figure was also in the mosaic that you all saw earlier, depicting the final battle between Bronak and Ankalax. So you're reading the history of this war as you descend the stairs, until finally it bottoms out and your attention is refocused. And you find yourselves in the room that Ushkol, there we go. That Ushkol described. With this, it's a square room with 4 large columns, one in each corner, and just the majority of this probably 60-foot wide floor is dominated by a huge mound of white powder.
What do you guys make of that? Does one of you guys want to examine that or
Anthrax?
something? What was that, Morthos?
Sorry, what was it? What is it?
I said anthrax?
um, maybe.
Yeah, I'd like to investigate it.
Okay. Make a medicine check for me.
Medicine.
Or nature, whichever is better for you, actually. Both
Nature.
could apply.
14.
What does it look like?
Does it look like it'll protect you from acid from evil waters?
It's hard to tell, honestly. What was your role, Morthos?
14.
Okay, yeah, that is actually enough to identify this, as it is not super common, but common enough. Um, you recognize this as caustic potash. It is a strong base, which is actually very good at neutralizing acid. It is effectively a crushed into fine powder combination of lime, and there is limestone within the mountain that you presume they got it from, and potassium hydroxide. So in modern terms, I think it's what potassium chloride. I want to say
Potassium
no
hydroxide, I think.
hydroxide. Yeah, no, that is the actual term for it. I misread my own notes. Yeah, potassium hydroxide is correct. Um, yeah, but the alchemical term for it, which is what would be known in this world, is caustic potash. Um, and as you examine it and you look along the walls, there is actually accounts in the room of uh, the plans for this. It kind of seemed to be rather an important development for them in their military technology, as they were fighting creatures that had strong acid uh, abilities. They were attempting to use this to coat their shields and their armor in sort of a caked on protective coating, or even forging it into metals, although they had not quite cracked that yet. And in this way, they could sort of protect themselves from bouts of acid as long as it held.
Uh, Everyone, I think we should take as much of this as we can. Um, I think it'll be good against the acid lake.
What the hell are you talking about?
This stuff is used to neutralize
That's none
acid.
of your concern.
Fair enough. Rather
I'm
keep
sticking
my
the stone
tongue
dust
than
as much
find
as I
out.
can into my my backpack sack.
Okay.
We can put a lot of it in the
Where
bag of holding.
Yes.
where did they say it came from?
It's not made super explicit, but there is limestone in the mines surrounding here, so it's likely that it came from there.
But like in the walls or in this room?
It's not explicit, like it's all throughout the mountain. Like this whole thing is part of like the kingdom contains not only several mining complexes, but also like the living chambers and receiving chambers and workshops and all of
Okay.
that. This seems
But
to
I
just have been
mean,
storage.
but as far as like when we look around the room, do we see limestone?
Uh, yeah, probably. Most of the mountain would have at least some abundance of it. So yeah.
Okay, Norwin smash.
Okay. Go ahead and make roll for damage. You're gonna hit, but roll damage to give me an idea of like what works.
8.
Okay. You break off a pretty hefty chunk. Your mace is not really made for this, but as it's magical, it doesn't take any damage. You break off a pretty hefty chunk, and along with that hefty chunk, there is a fine dust that is sprayed as well. It is not quite in the refined form that the pile in the middle of the room is, but
What do you mean?
like
My
the
character thinks it looks different,
yeah,
or
it's a little bit more like yellowish in color. The pile in the center is almost pure white. It seems to have been refined and treated in some way. It's not just straight lime.
oh, Is this the same thing? I give it to Morthos. Or
Is
actually,
this
I rolled. I
not-
rolled
has all the
medicine. I might not actually ask him.
Okay. What was your roll? Oh, are you rolling it now? See, you're typing in
Yeah,
the rolling
no.
channel.
I'm not sure the crushed lime is everything that's necessary.
Yeah,
11?
you'd probably want to ask him, and he already gave his response, so probably more to it
Okay.
than just that, but that is a decent part of the recipe.
Would I even know what potassium hydroxide is, or is that
Not
just
by
something
name.
that?
You would know it as caustic potash.
So can I actually tell the makeup of this, or I just know these are components a part of it?
With time, you could figure out the exact composition of it.
Recipe.
Okay. Since he doesn't seem to know, I'm gonna use sending to Jasna. See if she knows.
Okay. All right. Oh yeah, she's a rock gnome, so this is very much her domain.
I figured.
Now I have to figure it out for sure to tell you, so I don't tell you wrong. Okay. Sodium oxide. Okay. You also need sodium carbonate is the other thing you need, or soda ash would be its more old-timey name.
Do I guess I ask around if anybody knows where to find soda ash.
Yeah, there would actually be probably some nearer to like underneath of some of the lakes.
Somewhere?
Some of the lakes. Probably not the one that you're well, maybe the one that you're interested in, but it would be dangerous to go beneath that one. However, since you're under the mirror lakes, there are many others around. And probably some of the rock that forms near them or near a source for them would be a decent place to find it. So you can
Okay.
certainly synthesize. I shouldn't say synthesize. You can certainly refine more of this, but there is also a fuck ton of it right in front of you.
Norwin, your thirst for knowledge is truly inspiring. But I think we have a one-time need for this, and we need to move on.
Sorry, my headphone popped.
Let's
Do you think this?
grab the stuff and
Do
get
you
over
think
to
this will be enough?
We need to get that annulus. And we should probably do something about the living situation here to be good to our.
That's what I'm saying. We should grab as much of this as we can, put it in the bag of holding, head over to the orcs, demand counsel with them, and then proceed to the acidic waters.
Morthos, what do you think is a reasonable outcome with the orcs?
Um,
Agreed
can I
here.
Can I speak with you privately? I don't want to
go. He
speak
steps
broadly
off.
in front of
He walks
my
away.
new friend. I think I don't think it will work, but I think if we say that we will give back their friend unharmed, to which we have taken
Can you hear me?
2 of the men down
Yes.
already, then they need to leave the mountain. And if they refuse, then we'll have to think of more demanding options.
Are you proposing that we attack all 10 of the orcs?
Yeah, I don't feel up to fighting 10 orcs right now. I'm already feeling pretty rough.
I felt a little dissatisfied with the last battle.
I need to rest first.
I'm sorry. Couldn't hear you through your food.
I need to rest first.
Are you suggesting we rest here with the orc?
Or perhaps amongst the goblins.
The goblins may be
how to
inspired
respond
to
to
fight
this.
alongside us to defeat the orcs, or we could counsel the orcs to leave to persuade them that this is not a satisfactory place for them to dwell. That may be difficult. They see a lot of advantages to this place.
You broke up a little there. I didn't hear everything you just said.
I think we have 3 options that I'm willing to entertain. One of them is we convince the goblins to fight with us against the orcs, so that they can, so the goblins can earn their own freedom and peace. A second option is to persuade the orcs to leave, which I think will be difficult because they have a lot of. This is a good spot for them, I think. And then the third option is to convince the goblins to leave. The fourth option is we do nothing and we leave.
Jasno pipes in and says, "Why don't we just burrow up through the mountain and go out a different way?"
Well, we made a deal with the goblins. I don't know if we should renege that deal to tell them to leave.
Yes, I can't go back on my word.
On the other hand, we didn't find anything that they would consider of value. But I don't think we're going to just leave them in the lurch. So we could counsel them to leave. Or we can help them. If they're going to get rid of the orcs, they should help us.
I think that's fair enough. So rest here and then, or go back to the goblins, take a rest with our prisoner. How do you
Yeah.
think?
We can hand the prisoner to the bugbear.
I'm sorry. What?
We can hand the prisoner over to the bugbear.
That might satisfy him. I doubt it. So yeah, let's do that. Let's go back to Grox with Ushkol and talk it over with Grox.
Okay.
All right.
We are taking as much powder as we can.
We do have a bag of holding, so
Yeah, I'm gonna be a kind DM and not go like, "Oh, well, technically it can only hold 64 cubic feet," and it can hold almost all of it. Like, it holds most of the powder that you have in there, like everything that you could get without grabbing a broom and sweeping up the remainder.
Ooh, I have an idea. If we don't want to go that route, the generous DM route, I can control water to try to, if we can get under the lake, I can empty the lake into here if we make everybody leave, and then it'll find this stuff on its own if we can't carry enough.
So you'd have to move it underneath of the correct lake still.
Oh, right. It's a couple miles off.
Yeah. You're closer than that now, but it is still up the river of acid that flows through this underground cavern.
Well, I guess if we
Why?
follow the river of acid and just try
I
to.
wonder if the enemies of the dwarves caused it to be acidic.
I wonder if the dwarves got dissolved.
We know that it was the dragon's blood, right?
Yeah, it
Oh,
was the acid that was in his body was released into the water that made it that way.
Oh, the one at the bottom of the lake?
Yep.
That son of a bitch.
And Encalax is huge, so even with all of the rain that has come, like it hasn't diluted the acid much at all. But rain isn't a strong base. You have a strong base.
Yes.
Probably has
All right,
diluted
let's go
the
to
acid
Grox.
some. All right, cool. So you
What
make
if
your
we
way
could
back
create a
through
dam
the.
that purifies the water?
You make your way back through the tunnel system with relative ease, although golly, why do I keep getting his name? Ushgal. Ushgal is like confused. He was like, I thought you guys wanted to go see. Okay.
Oh, we will.
Yeah, he's not in any position to argue. He's just confused, so he just goes along with it. And you make your way back to Grox and his Gobbo minions. Ugh,
Greetings,
what
Grox
is
the
this?
Terrible.
Yeah.
We have a prisoner for you.
All right, that's one of them.
We killed 2 others.
He needs to be unharmed until we speak with the orcs. He will be a good bargaining chip.
Well, that's disappointing, but I understand.
We
What are y'all gonna do?
we actually we didn't really find what we came here for, so I think we'll just be on our way. You should probably leave if the orcs are giving you trouble.
Make a deception check.
Okay.
What was it?
It doesn't say. It didn't give me the result.
Was it just? Oh, you got a 16 on the D20.
Oh, okay, there we go. 19 total.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. He briefly forgets that he gave you all 2 days, and you've been way less than 2 days in there. And he goes, Well, that's unfortunate. I'd hate to have you go without anything, though. What about the or without paying your tribute to Grax the Terrible? What about kind of thinks for a moment and like gets this wry smile, like he's really gonna dig you out of a lot, and says, 50 gold. Or 50 gold.
It's 50 gold for what?
I'm not
Coming
able
into
to
our
hold.
land. For me letting you through without a trouble.
I'm not able to hold back my what's the word?
Snickering.
Anger, I guess. Like
Oh, okay.
it's like how dare he like try to force us? This wasn't the deal. he's going against his word type thing.
Okay. Look, you come into my home. I'm asking you for 50 gold. Not.
I use thaumaturgy again to make like flames dance around his head, and I scream at him and say, "You will get nothing."
Make an intimidation check with advantage.
A little bit of Malarax is coming out there.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and I also use my once a day power to like use my like angelic form or whatever.
Okay. All right.
So that's a 12.
Wow. Okay. He
Yeah.
he bats away at the flames around his head as they appear and realizes that they are but illusions. And he looks back at you and he says, "Parlor tricks? Come on.
I'm also flying.
This is our home. We let you in here. You were looking for something. I'm sorry you didn't find it, but that doesn't mean that we did not graciously accept you when we did not have to."
We have honored the deal.
Norwin, I kind of see Grox the Terrible's point of view here. They could have hidden from us. They could have attacked us. They could have led us into their traps. So they were rather helpful in guiding, giving us some resource, even while they're being attacked by the orcs.
How are you saying this to me? Or do you like have your hand on me or anything?
No, I am giving a sort of a deferent posture and positioning myself in between you and Grox.
I will say, if you're asking it from a mechanical standpoint, Brian, because of his path of tranquility, it is like not necessarily a mechanical thing, but he does just kind of exude that aura.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, is he like, how much calming does he have on me?
Like, he's not actively using Emissary of Peace, but he's also just an Emissary of Peace.
You know what? I'm actually gonna actively use Emissary of Peace now because no one's casting spells. So
Okay.
I didn't actually. Oh yeah, that is a spell. Never mind.
Yep. Not an offensive spell, but a spell.
Yeah, it's still a spell. It doesn't matter what the result is. If you're using it on me, I'm so amenable to what you say that it succeeds.
yeah, it's just persuasion. My thing is not a spell to effect. It's just okay, a diplomatic persuasion thing to like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. With a little bit of monkish key thrown in, but as far as Credor is aware, it's not magic.
Yeah.
Technically, it's not magic.
Yeah. As far as I'm just gonna say that it works.
Okay, that's totally cool. Thank you, Cranmore. I really don't mean any offense by it. It is our home. I'm sorry you didn't find what you wanted, but it sounded like you knew it was back there. I figured you'd get something out of this. And
my
truth
bigger
be told,
concern
it would go a long way to helping us against these orcs.
Yeah, that's my bigger concern is can you invest it somehow to defend yourselves? You're occupying a tight space with a powerful tribe that has been, decimated, as in we've taken out 1 in 10 of them. um, there's still 10 of them down there. And we've given you maybe a bargaining chip, but I don't know how much they respect that. They might out of spite want to kill Ushkal. Maybe I don't know how culturally that works. Do you have something you can do to defend yourselves or move on?
Make a persuasion check.
Oh, that's good.
22.
He kind of ponders for a moment and he says, "Hmm, perhaps my pride was getting in the way of my thoughts. I hadn't thought about us moving. Now that you mention it, especially if we get that 50 gold from you, we could use it to put roots down elsewhere."
May I suggest Lila?
I'm not familiar with it.
If you're willing to let go of your ego and work in a greater community, there is a town that is establishing itself, a new one, and if you're open to working with,
Plenty of land available.
What's that, Norwin?
I said plenty of land available.
There's land that can be worked. They're looking for anyone that can work the land or do a trade. It is a growing town now that is defensible.
Well, you say town, I hear people. Most humans and elves and dwarves and other such races don't really like our kind. I'm not sure they'd accept myself and my compatriots.
You can assure you they would.
Why do you say that?
We started the town, and we made sure in the laws that there would be no discrimination.
Discrimination
Nonetheless,
is one thing,
people
but
are the
thinking
way
you
they
live
are.
with monsters is another. I will remind you that you have kobolds living around there too.
Yeah,
The
and I will
kobolds
point that out. Like
but
There are caves near the town where there is a community of kobolds that we have been building trade. It's always a good idea to strengthen that community.
well, it's not as though we get on with kobolds any better than we do with humanoids, but if they're accepting kobolds, they might accept us too. I suppose we'll give it a shot. See how it works out.
what I'd like to suggest. Remember the name Corella, and
Okay.
she's one of the Myrmidons, one of the a kind of chiefess there at Lila, and that is so if they give you difficulty upon approaching, that's the person you say you want to speak to, and you let them know that you talk to, you name us, you say that you talk to Norwin and Crenmore and Morthos and Rashido. You can even name the Keepers of Fate, and I show him my tattoos.
Okay.
And that we that
He
you
actually
talk
takes
about.
out like a pad of it. It's not paper. It's like literally leather, and maybe not the best cured either. But it works. And he kind of starts like etching onto it, like copying down the tattoo, in a rough form, but thereabouts. Okay.
Right, and we give information on how to find the place, who to talk to,
Right.
give a bit of counsel on it. It's something to think about, and we understand if you want to find somewhere else, but that place may be willing to accept you, and if you mention us and that it was our recommendation, they'll help take care of you. They'll work with you.
Okay. Not how I thought my day would go, but interesting. Thank you. Well, not like we have much to pack up, so we'll be leaving pretty soon, I suppose. Hmm. Interesting. Huh. For the first time in a while, I actually feel kind of optimistic.
Cranmore tends to have that effect on people.
Glad to see you're
Shoot
a
him
little.
knowing.
Glad to see you're a little less angry. I did not mean any offense, truly. Um,
I'm sorry. If I offended you, I am sorry as well.
I appreciate
Norwin did almost get killed down there. It was pretty rough.
I see. Well, all is, hate to press the matter, but all is forgiven if we could have that 50 gold. Would help.
Yeah, I handed it to him.
Thank you.
Just out of my personal stash.
All right. He goes and begins gathering the goblins for their trek northward. What are y'all doing?
We should rest and keep a watch. Like, I think we should probably secure the area a bit, keep a watch, and rest.
Yeah, I can take first watch.
Okay. All right. So 3 of you rest as Morthos keeps watch. Morthos, go ahead and roll a perception check for me. Does anyone need to stop now, or could we go possibly another 10 minutes?
I'm good.
10 minutes is fine.
6.
Okay. Well, you don't notice a ton.
I rolled a 6. I can go for another 10 minutes.
Okay. I did figure that was what you meant because 6 minutes would have been oddly specific, but that's fair. I appreciate the clarification. So, as you are kind of watching, it's a little bit you're kind of thinking back on like you probably kind of wished that you could have fought the orcs. So, kind of like wistfully considering what could have been. You do notice that Grax comes out and has the orc kind of in bonds still, and kind of sets him there on like on one of the pillars, um, and just kind of sets a plate of food within reach of his hands. So he can kind of like still eat a little bit, but you know. Basically, kindness begets kindness, and given y'all's charity towards them, he was like, well, I guess we won't kill our prisoner. Um, and you see that, and then you see him leave with the rest of the goblins, bidding you an adieu as they pass, which you kind of, you know, respond to, but you're still kind of daydreaming. So you're kind of, it's like a, all right, goodbye. Um, as you're a bit distracted, but otherwise your watch goes uneventfully. Second watch, Cranmore or Norwin?
I'll do it. I only need to meditate anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not volunteering for watch.
Is this just a short rest?
I figured y'all wanted to go for long.
Yeah, long would be
Okay.
nice.
All right.
I thought so. I just want to make sure.
Cranmore, can I get a perception check?
Ten.
These are fantastic.
All right. Nothing disturbs you as you watch over your friends resting. And third watch. Okay. Rashido, I think, will take that as Norwin's decided to sleep the evening. Rashido gets, I believe, at a +2 earlier, right? Yes, +2. So that's a 19. He does considerably better. When he wakes you all up in the morning, he reports that Ushgal kind of got a little restless in the night and was anxious for his tribe to come and pick him up. And Rashido had to kind of uh, make him a little bit more comfortable in order to get him to shut the hell up. But outside of that, there wasn't really anything to mention. All right, so dawn
Did he cast
breaks.
Fluffy down, or did he hit him with a head in the head with a sack?
You can investigate the not body, but you can investigate Ushgal's condition and find out.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
It looks like he was knocked out a little bit.
I look
Let's go.
What?
Let's go.
I look
Actually,
around and
I shouldn't say knocked out. It looks like he was put unconscious somehow. There's not a sign of physical violence.
Yeah, I know how Rashido plays,
Yeah.
and we should just move on.
All right, cool. So, yeah.
I wake up confused and I ask where the goblins.
Hopefully,
Hopefully,
they're
did they leave already?
Dude, you've been asleep for a week.
What?
Yeah, no, not really. They just left for the night.
Make it. Oh, okay. I was gonna say make a deception.
Yeah, I was gonna give him his next line, and if he didn't rectify it, I was gonna make him roll deception. But yeah, I figured
Okay.
he was about to say, "No, I'm kidding." Excellent.
All right, let's pick up a move. We gotta get to that annulus.
Alrighty. So, yeah, I figured. All right. You do indeed make your way back a couple of hours, seeing the evidence of dwarvish society kind of fading and becoming more and more sparse as you get away from the entrance to the Sterkvillig halls. And you make your way back to the Dragon's Demise Lake with your mass of caustic potash in your bag of holding. And I assume begin pouring it in.
Yeah, I just
Yes.
throw that big chunk of limestone in.
All right. The limestone does seem to do a
Sploosh.
little bit. It does eventually dissolve, but you notice a lot slower than the other stones you threw in, and the water actually does clear like a little bit as you toss it in. Because
Yeah,
it
I'm
is
just shoveling
basic.
this stuff in. Sprinkle, sprinkle all over.
Well, so you can do that, or you can literally just turn the bag of holding upside down.
Not gonna do that.
Okay.
No.
Not
I mean,
gonna
it
do
just
that.
dumps it all out. Like it's
There's other stuff in that bag.
that's true.
Yeah, we can dump it on the shore, but not in the water.
Okay. So you get like handful by handful the amount of potassium, toss it into the lake, and you see with each
Or-
kind of
Or wouldn't we just like go in and try to pull everything else out
very
first?
possibly you run the
There
risk
might be
of
some
not
stuff we don't
remembering
want to get
everything
wet.
that's in there.
Okay.
So yeah, jumping on the shore makes sense, and then sort of shoving powder from the shore in and kind of pulling out objects that shouldn't be in the water and putting them back in the bag, a little
Yeah.
powdery. Maybe some of them get rinsed off a little bit.
In a different lake.
Yeah, in a different lake, something clever.
Sure.
We'll do our laundry. We'll hang it out on a line to dry.
All right. Honestly, like implementation details, I'm not too worried about. Over the course of probably the remainder of the day, you were able to shovel the entire amount of caustic potash into this lake, and you see the water becoming cloudy, but not like it's losing its blackness. It's becoming cloudy with like this white powdery precipitate in it. And after most of your day's work, who would like to volunteer to dip their hand in? Or
I grab a plant from the side of the shore and I throw it in.
So boring. All right, fine. The plant does not dissolve.
I try a rock.
The rock sinks out of sight.
Yeah, I stick my hand in, like a quick dip.
Nothing. Seems fine. It actually, as
All
you
right.
pull away, it's like a little bit like a grainy mud. You know, it's kind of like a little bit abrasive as you rub it.
It's exfoliating.
Did I hear mud bath?
And so you now have the access to. So it's still a lake full of water, but you you will not die if you jump in the lake to retrieve the items within.
So
I-
Norwin, could you just drink the potion of water breathing and use your vision to, see the amulets and swim right
yeah.
toward it and grab it?
That's what I was planning on doing. But first, actually, how much can control water control? Like, can I form a small tunnel to the thing after I use locate object for the annulus, but how far down is it?
A cube up to 100 feet on a side, which is huge. Let me think about. So 100 cubed.
Good job, Moses.
And I just want a tunnel, not a walkway.
Yeah, so I'm looking at so it's a million feet. Definitely. So you could make like a 3 foot by 3 foot tunnel easily, probably even like 5 foot by 5 foot, and get down there no problem.
Okay. I should have just done that to begin with.
It wasn't water before, actually.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so I go down there.
It's still kind of
how
not quite water, but it's much closer to water than before.
Okay. How long? Do you know how long it lasts? The spell?
10 minutes.
I have to pull it up. 10
I have it
minutes.
up. Yep.
Okay. Then I go down, and how much time is left when I get to the annulus?
Most of 10 minutes.
Okay.
Your flying speed is 30 feet a second as your walking speed, right? And you can dash, so the lake might be like 300 feet deep.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So then I look around for the mace as well.
You don't see it within your 5 foot by 5 foot cube.
Okay.
5 foot by 5 foot block. And the
Then
water
I
around
locate
you is
object?
a little cloudy.
Then I use the locate object on the mace. Oh wait, I have to have. There's some restriction. Hold on,
You
I might
saw
not
it
be
in a
able to.
mosaic.
Okay, that counts.
Let me look up locate object to see. But so it cannot. You couldn't look for the specific mace, but you could look for a mace or a weapon.
Oh, the nearest object of a particular kind. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I look for the nearest mace.
Okay. Yeah, that reveals something maybe 10 or 15 feet to one side of you, which you can easily warp the water around, go and retrieve it.
You see 12 maces. Choose wisely.
You can't carry them all.
The lake is now made of maces.
He chose poorly.
Great reference.
So I grab the mace, and then I look around to see if there's anything else down there. Really quick.
Just
But
like
then,
in the area you're in.
Yeah, or within like 10 feet or something, however much visibility I have into the water.
Well, the mace was embedded in the skull of a dragon.
Ah, so that might take a while.
I mean, you can pry it out.
Okay, sure. I go up very quickly and I yank on it.
Yeah. Well, sure. Let's make it fun. Make a strength check for me.
Uh, Not spells. Seven.
Oof. Nope. So as you tug on it the first time around, you do not manage to free it from its bony prison. Um, you can try again in another uh, few rounds, I'd say. But is there another way you might want to try and get it out?
Hey, how about you find the annulus, tie a rope to the mace, and come back up here with the other end of the rope, and I'll yank it and drag the mace out.
You hear Cranmore call that out.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Am I? They can see down the thing, so they see me like move off, but I don't say anything when I do this.
Yeah, I mean, but they know that you were looking for two things.
Okay, well, that's a good idea. I tie a rope and I come out.
How much
Oh, wait.
rope do you have?
I do not know. Hold on.
The normal is 50 feet, which would not be enough. You are muted.
Oh, wrong key. I doubt I have more than 6 times the normal amount.
Yeah.
So I yell back, I don't have enough.
I have some rope. I have 50 feet of rope we can tie to it.
Can I run through his tunnel of air, like the tunnel here?
He'd need to make it bigger. But at this point also, Norwin, you can try again.
Okay, I try again. 20.
Yes. Alright, so the second time around with a like crap, there isn't really another good way to do this, is there? You just like grip it, kind of feel for the right position for your hand on the hilt, and you just give it a mighty tug, and this time it cracks free from the dragon's skull and comes loose in your hand, and you can feel its power in your hand as you're holding it. You don't yet know exactly what its magical properties are, but it's definitely magical.
Okay, I fall backwards into the rest of the water because I rolled a dex save and it failed.
Excellent.
I want to know if the control water spell has a verbal component. Actually, I can still talk underwater, right? It's just saying things out.
Also, even if it
He's
does have a
breathing
verbal
out.
one, it only happens at the beginning of the spell, which it does, but you don't need to continue
Oh,
it.
okay, cool. Well, then I shape it back around me to give me some air.
Alrighty. You are easily able to do so.
I'm gonna say that I take a couple points of damage for that.
Fair enough. How much? Because now that would possibly trigger a concentration check for the spell.
It's just like 2.
Okay, then you cannot possibly fail that check. Cool.
Okay.
All right.
Oh,
So
oh.
you whack your head and you're like, but you manage to retain your
I'm gonna.
concentration on the spell, warp it around your head, and collect yourself, get back up, and head back to the surface.
I'm gonna make it more interesting and roll a d4.
Okay. Playing with fate, are we?
It's a 3.
Okay. What's your Constitution bonus? Your modifier?
My modifier is +3.
Okay, then you're fine.
Oh, good.
So if it wasn't, then you'd have to roll a d20 and see if you rolled a 1, in which case you might fail. But
Okay.
yeah. All right, cool. So you managed
Try
to
and make it
gain
out.
composure, get back up to the shore with the annulus and the mace in hand.
It's okay. I got it under control.
You're
Huzzah.
okay. I
You
go hug
also, right before you hear me say that, you also hear some like gargling water drowning-ish sounds.
Yeah, I'm hugging you, and he's gone. He's back.
Excellent.
I'm just so happy to see Norwin alive after what that was. I give him a big hug and probably squirt some of the water out of his lungs.
All right. Okay, so you have the next annulus, and you also have a cool mace. We will discover that mace's properties next time on BionD&D. However, since you got this annulus, I believe that is a milestone. And that'll get us to, what is everybody, 9?
Yeah, I think
Alright.
so. I think
That'll
that
put
brings us up
everybody
to
at
10.
10.
I prefer kilometer marker. I'm kidding.
Good.
Kilometer stone.
Alright.
Kilometer rock.
You have to be different in every way.
Kilo mineral?
Kilometer pebble.
When we hit a milestone, we just jump a level.
Yep.
Yeah. No XP anymore.
All right.
So,
Here we
everybody is now
go.
level 10. And that will be it for this week's session. Thank you, everybody who tuned in to watch us tonight. And, well, or if you're watching this post, after the fact, ex post facto, whatever you thank you for listening. And as always, may all your rolls be lucky. And now we stay on the stream for a few seconds as the stream catches up with itself so that the recording doesn't cut off with may all your rolls. You be muted, Dennis.
Good, because I just said penis. Ah, shoot.
Who could say it the loudest?
Penis is funny. Penis!
Wang. All right, bye.